Welcome back to KC Lounge.
And Libation.
I'm Alan.
And I'm Marco.
Today we're taking you through our top 5 Kansas City breweries of 2022.
Now, these are the top 5 that we have selected based on beer quality, beer selection, the taproom experience, and to-go options. Now, could we do a top 10?
Absolutely. We could do a top 20. But these are the 5 breweries that were the standouts to us that we kept going to over and over in 2022.
Cue that intro.
First up, Alma Mater Brewing. Alma Mater is located in downtown Kansas City, off Southwest Boulevard.
Now, Alma Mater specializes in New England or hazy type IPAs. They have a wide selection of them. They also have a series of double and triple IPAs, which are their dripping and tripping in series. And they also have a phenomenal series of juicy pale ales. I feel like they always have one on draft, and they're always phenomenal. They're just delicious.
They also make West Coast IPAs, such as the Where the Pines Grow, which is one of my favorite beers of the year, combining crisp West Coast IPA and pine, two of my favorite things. Delicious. They also have a Licious IPA, which is what I think they would consider their house IPA. It's kind of in the middle. It's right between a Northeast and a West Coast.
Well, we can't talk about Alma Mater without talking about Pilsners. They always seem to have at least one on tap.
Absolutely. They have a French, multiple French. They have a New Zealand. They have multiple German Pilsners. But the most famous...
None more famous than the Premiant, which is their Czech Pilsner.
Premiant actually won 2022 Best Beer of the Year in Kansas City Magazine.
Finally, let's talk about Alma Mater's Milk Stout, which is probably one of my favorite, not just in Kansas City, but of all time. They've had several iterations of
Land of Mañana, Mochaccino, All Night Diner, and most recently, their Triple Vanilla.
Yeah, all of them have been fantastic. My personal favorite, probably Land of Mañana.
I'm going Land of Mañana and then this Triple Vanilla they just came out with. Those are my two. They're tied now.
Alma Mater has a clean, modern aesthetic taproom with a nice new patio that they just added and the occasional food truck that shows up.
They also have a ton of to-go options and a members-only club that you can sign up for once a year. If you're interested in barrel-aged offerings, discounts, and swag, inquire within. Next up,
Pathlight Brewing, located in Shawnee, Kansas. Now, Pathlight has one of the widest variety of beers on draft. And if they had any flagship beer, I think people would probably argue that it's the Wick, which is a hazy IPA, and I feel like it's a very approachable hazy.
If they had a second flagship beer, I would say it's the Low Life Pilsner. It's one of my favorite German Pilsners I've ever had. They also have the Rampion Helles Lager, which is really good. I think there's another lager that we should mention too.
I mean, let's just throw it out there. It's the Kolsch.
Yeah, the River Rhine Kolsch is one of the best Kolsches I've ever had, and I would drink that Kolsch all year round.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite. I would, it's winter, it's 32 degrees out or colder. I drink it right now.
They also have really great West Coast IPAs. Two standouts for me for the year were the cold IPA called Knuckle Duster, and then one of their West Coast IPAs called Close Quarters. Both were amazing.
They were great. I mean, they also have, they have an Abbey on tap. They have a Coffee Blonde. If you want to get into their deep cuts, they have a series of wild ales that they bottle, which are really great sour saisons. I mean, they just have a wide selection.
They also have seasonal offerings, such as the Ludwig Fest beer, one of the best Oktoberfests in the area. And they also have different special events, such as the Blix release they just had, which is a series of barrel-aged imperial stouts, which they came out with in the traditional, and then a coconut and coffee variations.
Yep. Pathlight has a pretty expansive tap room, lots of seating. They have a nice little Nintendo system in the back to play with if you want to. They have a nice patio outside for some additional seating. They also have a permanent food truck now on Fridays, which is Smoke and Soul. I have not had it personally, but I hear it's phenomenal.
Korean barbecue, it's fantastic. They also have a whole range of board games that you could play if you wanted to. Pathlight also has a wide range of to-go options. They also have different events, so they'll open early on weekends for things like Formula One racing. So be sure to check out their Facebook and Instagram pages to keep up with those. Next, we have BKS Artisan Ales, located in Brookside, which is southeast Kansas City. They have a plethora of Northeast hazy-style IPAs, double IPAs, and triple IPAs. I have no idea how they keep up with brewing so many. They also have a sprinkling of West Coast IPAs. One of my favorites most recently was their Current Past.
I've also had an English mild. I've had a very nice Kolsch. I've had a Saison. They have a milk stout. They have a ton of other options. They also have their Pivo Project, which is their Pilsner series. They've had a smoked, a Czech. They recently had a Mexican lager, which was really great. And then most recently, we went on Black Friday and they had their Aloha Breakfast, which was an Imperial Stout. One of probably the best I've ever had. It was a coffee, maple, and coconut Imperial Stout, which one of those flavors might, overpower the other. No, it was perfectly balanced throughout. It was great.
BKS has a smaller, cozy tap room. They have TVs with sporting events on. They have a relatively large patio for nice outdoor days, and a fully stocked set of fridges that has probably one of the larger selections of to-go beers that I've ever seen in Kansas City.
Yeah, that thing is always filled to the brim. I mean, honestly, I had no idea how they brew so much beer.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
A lot of these breweries we've been going to for years, but BKS was a relatively new addition.
Yeah, I mean, it's been on our list for a while, but we went to it for the first time around the beginning of this year, and we've been back several times. It's quickly become one of my favorites. The next brewery is Torn Label, located in East Crossroads.
They have a fantastic selection of mainstays. Their Monk and Honey, Alpha Pale Ale, and House Brew are amazing. They also have the Gold Rice Lager that is seemingly becoming a flagship beer. I hope they keep it on. It's an amazing rice lager.
Yeah.
They also have a Hang 'em High IPA that they have different variations of hops that they put in. Their double IPAs are amazing as far as their Checo and Gusticide go. I mean, they're my favorite double IPAs, West Coast style of the city.
Oh yeah, they're very good.
Yeah.
They also have a great other selection of beers. They have a porter. They have a tiki-inspired IPA that was kind of like a sour IPA. It was really good.
The Mai Tai.
The Mai Tai, that's right.
Torn Label has two distinct spaces. The first being their main public house with full scratch kitchen. I highly recommend you get some food there. I've had so many different great things there. Last week I had a fried egg with broccolini. I've had a burger. We get the fries with a plethora of different sauces they have there. There's so many different options.
Yeah. They also have their brewery tap room, which is, I believe, only open on Mondays, but it's, smaller, warm, cozy.
Torn Label has a wide variety of their beers to go. If you're not nearby, though, check out your local Gomer's or Lucas Liquor, because most of the liquor stores nearby have Torn Label.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, if you live in KC, you've heard of KC Beer Co., the largest locally owned craft brewery in Kansas City.
Now, KC Beer Co. follows a very stringent guideline on their quality and utilizing traditional German brewing techniques. They also import all of their hops and malts from Germany directly to brew all of those traditional ales and lagers.
You've probably had their Dunkel if you live in Kansas City, but our favorites are the Hefeweizen and the Helles Lager, two great options.
Yeah, they also have some really great seasonal and rotators like their Fest beer. Probably one of my favorite Vienna style or Marzens in the city.
Yep.
They have their Carolator. They have a Winterbach. They have a Schwarzbier. They have a Maibach. I mean, I could go on and on. But they're all really great if you're looking for something on the maltier side.
KC Beer Co.'s tap room replicates a traditional German beer hall. Their kitchen has a lot of German fare, such as pretzels, sausages, and they have a massive outdoor patio that's great for summer and nice days.
Yeah. They also have a lot of options on tap that they do not have in bottle. Some pretty interesting things that you can try out there. Also, you can take some bottles home with you directly from their tap room, but really you can buy all of those options from any liquor store here in Kansas City. Thus concludes the top 5 breweries of 2022. It's been a great year. I've had a lot of great beers from these breweries. There are a lot of other breweries that we have not been to in the downtown and greater Kansas City areas that we're looking to check out.
And we're also looking at doing more cocktail bars, a lot of different restaurants. So be on the lookout for more content in the next year. And thanks to all of you who've supported us this year by watching our videos and sharing our content. For more reviews on Booze and Foods.
Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Cue the intro. Na, 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 na.
I'm gonna shake my sillies out.
Is that something from a children's show?
Yeah. We listen to that one a lot.
Okay, Dad.
Yeah.